Welcome back. Tomorrow is National Record Store Day. Vinyl making a comeback, apparently. Vinyl sales in the United States hit a record 13 million back in 2016, increasing for the 11th consecutive year, according to the Nielsen Company. So while we're all talking and listening to music digitally, actually, vinyl sales are rising. Joining us right now is Rolling Stone contributor-editor Joe Levy. Joe, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good to be here.
And you brought on just as a
little sampling of some of our vinyl pleasures. Yeah. Well, one new record and then of course two old ones. But
so this is a new record.
Well, this is a new group. This is not a brand new record by Spoon. There is one, but you know.
My point is they're producing vinyl records.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Producing so many vinyl records, in point of fact, that pressing plants could not keep up with demands. Now, that's because most pressing plants closed and switched over to CDs a long time ago. But when vinyl took off 10 years ago, at the time of the first Record Store Day, pressing plants could not keep up. They were back ordered for months, if not years.
Yeah, we also should point out that today is 1 year ago Prince passed away. Big shout out to Prince's family and to Prince. Rest in peace, just because we wanted to mention it.
Absolutely.
But many current artists like Taylor Swift, Lorde, releasing vinyl versions of their albums. Let me ask you, I understand the thrill of having the vinyl, but do we have players to play the vinyl albums?
Well, record players, turntables, sales are up as well, unsurprisingly. You know, one of the biggest vinyl retailers and a place where you can find a small portable record player like this is Urban Outfitters. So what we're seeing is kids who want physical media. There's something nostalgic about it. It's fun. It's by no means the biggest part of the music industry, but for years it was the biggest growing part of the recorded music industry. Now streaming has taken over. It's grown about 70% last year, and by far it's the biggest part of the recorded music industry. But vinyl still grows. It accounts for about, I think, $390 million in sales.
How much is a vinyl album today? How much does that go for retail?
I don't know the average price, but I would say about anywhere from $15 to $30, depending on what you're buying. And the markup on that, because downloads are cheaper if you're still buying recorded music, means that vinyl is more profitable. That's one reason why you see younger acts making it. Per unit sales, they're going to make more off of those sales.
Meanwhile, Prince's new album, Deliverance, has been pulled from iTunes and other streaming services following a lawsuit from his estate. We reported that earlier in the week.
That's right.
The tracks were set to be released today, corresponding to the one-year anniversary of Prince's death. Do you think we will ever hear these songs?
Well, we can hear one of them now. The title track is still available on streaming services, and you can buy it as a download. We might hear these songs. This was an odd thing. A recording, an audio engineer who worked at Paisley Park with Prince was going to release this short EP. It seemed to be an odd thing in that it wasn't coming through Universal Music, which made a rather substantial deal for Prince's unreleased music and back catalog. That deal itself is in doubt, but Universal, unsurprisingly, has moved to block the release of this album.
So we may not hear them.
Well, we may not hear it, but you know, the truth is that since Prince's death, we've heard an awful lot of Prince music that we couldn't hear before. Prince kept a very tight control on unreleased tracks, live tracks, kept them off the internet. All of a sudden, last year, we could hear a lot of this music. It was surfacing. So if you want to hear Prince bootlegs,
you can.
I don't recommend going to YouTube and breaking the law, but I've done it.
But by the way, you brought the albums, the smaller the smaller records.
Singles, we need to say, 45s, yeah.
So they're not as hot as the albums.
I'll tell you, if you want to go to Record Store Day tomorrow, you can buy a special limited edition 45 single from a young up-and-coming group known as the Beatles. And, you know, plenty of people put out special vinyl releases from a lot of the major labels, smaller labels for Record Store Day. You do find singles. There are people who love them. I know singles collectors. I'm not one of them.
Wow, Mamas and Papas.
Mamas and Papas. This is all good music. You hear plenty of good music on vinyl. You know, it's a great way to engage in and treasure the music you love.
And also have a flashback to the good old days.
You know, flashback for you and me, but for a lot of kids who actually have to be told how to work a record player, this is a whole new thing.
Oh, good. Then maybe we can teach them a thing or two.
I
Joe
hope we can.
Levy, good to see you, sir. Thank you so much. Take care.